Hey guys, welcome back, Marius here, and we have tips and tricks for Outer Worlds. I have 30 tips. I will try to compress them really fast, so if you have any questions regarding any of them, let me down in the description and just add pointer which tip are you talking about. So let's jump right to the points. I will squeeze it in, so other YouTubers have 5 tips and something. I'm like, what is 5? That's nothing. So here you go. First tip is you're gonna have 5 level boost. How it is, let me show you. When you have distributed attributes like this, you move on, you see you have 12 points in every skill. There are 18 skills. It equals out, you basically from this point, you move forward with 216 skill points. But if you distribute these points, basically it's not equal. It's not equal. At the beginning you can start game unequal. In this way, I just randomly selected, basically when you have something below something very good. Here, if you count how much skill points you have at this moment, you will end up with 270. This is 54 points more. And 50 points you get by leveling 5 levels. So this is how you, simply by distributing in other way, concentrating what you want and getting and leaving something you don't want, you have 54 points more. You're welcome. All right, point number 2. This is important. The game doesn't tell you, but there is a level cap, 30 level. So in total, in game overall, by leveling you will have 300 points. All right, 300 points is by leveling up. And also in this character creation screen, you also have these points available, which give you maximum in this distribution plus 60. So you will have 360 skill points in total. Long story short, by my calculations, when you do and level everything up as you progress, you can maximize 4 skills. This is, I think, maximum, if my calculations are right. So hear me out. You definitely want to go with, let's say, engineering, and then maybe science. Then lockpicking, yes, hacking is also, then one of the dialogue options, and then you need something to attack with. You already basically want to maximize 6 of them. No, you can only 4 of them. Keep that in mind, because game pushes you into really narrow specialization, and keep that in mind. You can of course go all around and get everything, and then you will equal out something in between and nothing. All right, keep that in mind. 4 skills can be leveled up. Point number 3 is when you have this uneven distribution, as I showed in previously, there is a cost for it, and the cost is quite interesting. And cost, because you know, when you put a point, let's say in stealth, you level up 3 skills at once, right? But let me show. This is when you have uneven distribution. You see, whenever you put a skills, you basically, sneak is already 50, that's leveled out, so you miss out here a point. You see, I could have spending 1, gaining 3, but that's the cost you have. Keep that also in mind whenever you have uneven leveled up skill points, all right? That's not only thing, there is one more thing regarding this I need to mention. This is already point number 4. Is skill points boost missing tiers. And it means, you see, I have 15 base skills in Persuade, and because I have company on bonus, I actually have 20, but it doesn't unlock tiers. And similar thing is, let's say here, I have 40 because of the bonus, but actually the game counts only towards your base of it. Keep that in mind whenever you level and do anything, that only base is counted. So if you want to unlock this 100, you need to have 100 base, not with bonuses. All right. Tip number 5 is something I can't show you, but I just found it too late in the game. Whenever you sell items, for example, these consumables, a lot of them, you sell to vendor by selecting E, and then when you have more than one item, for example this, it will pop up another screen like saying, oh, are you sure you want to sell it? And you can click on by the mouse on it, like accept, which I did at the beginning, or you can actually hit E once again. How it ends up, when you go to the vendor, select sell screen, mouse over on this, and then just mash E button, and everything, all the junk will be sold. It's actually not junk, those are consumables which take space and weight something, and junk is sold separately by pressing and holding Z button, right? So I'm just mentioning because you can mash E and then sell everything. Try it out, works awesome. But while we are here, point number 6, J and M scan. This is something actually workaround, because game doesn't allow you to track multiple quests. How you do that? I specifically loaded this because I have a lot of quests. And I'll show you precise example. I'm currently located on Monarch. On Monarch it says it's only 2 quests, but if you look closely, what you do, this is why I use J and M buttons, because one is journal, another is map, simple in between them, right? So when you select Monarch, you see it says go out of the ship, go out of the ship. Then you select something in Byzantium, it says no, you need to travel. This is where the computer is located. But look at this, when you select space, it actually also suggests me to get out, because this quest, it's traveling, this quest is also in here. I would miss it. And if you select actually region map, it shows you. You can have the same, you see? Monarch is located here, in the basically city, in the city. This is here. This is in the city. This is also here. Boom. How weird is that? Because whenever, yeah, in the city, in the local you need to see if it's that in a ship. But in general, the idea is between J and M, you will scan out your quest log, and that's really important because later on you will have different locations, different maps, and this is how you do all the quests at once in the place you are currently. Just, that's my takeaway. Alright, now next tip is another loading will be required. Hopefully this is the last one. You can do 2 things with weapons and armors. Either you sell them or you break down. My suggestion is break down melee weapons. Why? I don't have any melee weapon, but melee weapons, breaking down melee weapon gives you exact same amount as breaking rifles and anything, but rifles sell way more. So selling rifles is more beneficial, and when you need scraps for repairing and something, break down melee weapons. For armor, doesn't care, armor has a really poor value in general, so do whatever you want with that. But my advice is melee weapons, break down, ranged weapons for selling. Right. Next tip is a simple tip, but why I can't open? Jesus. Okay. It is for perks. For perks, pay attention to don't cancel out them, because I will show you quickly. For example, this gives you my companion's extra skill, extra XP for killing, and this, for example, is damage when you are alone in party. What? It means if you pick them both, only one of them will work, because either you have companions or you will have extra damage. And similar with something like here. You have a way to convincing vendors to pay more. No, this is Dialog skill when there is no companion in the party. So again, this will cancel out something like, there was companion weight as well. This one. When you have companion, you can get extra weight. So pay attention to not pick perks that cancel each other out. Then on the same track, point number 9, read the description. And it is important. Why? Because take a look at this. At the first glance, minus detection radius from enemies. Simple as that. Read the full description. Reduce detection radius of enemies when you have companions in your party. Again, extra thing you didn't notice, right? And the same was here. Dialog, plus 10 dialogue skill. Simple as that. Oh no, you need to be without your companions. So there are a lot of those, let's say, hidden, attached requirements needed for that perk to actually work. So read them all out before you do some silly mistake by taking something that will not work. All right. Then, while we are on perks, simple as that. From all the perks you go, I would say never ever pick this shit. Why? Because it will give you additional ammo at vendors which you can buy. Let me show you quickly why, because this is actually leveled out, fully leveled, close to the end game. Look how many bullets I have. I have not purchased a single fucking one bullet, and I have killed and cleared out every map in the game. I actually, at the last boss, there was more than 10,000 bullets. I don't know what you need to do to run out of bullets and when you need to buy them and you need extra. So just from all the perks I've seen in the game, in my opinion, that's something I don't know in which case scenario this would make anywhere near to usable perk. All right, moving on. Flaws cost skill points or damage received. So I don't have any flaw, but when you develop a flaw, it gives you 1 perk. If you take it, it gives you 1 perk point, but you spend either skill points. Let's say there's always something like 3, like -1 dodge, -1 pursued, and -1 hacking. Okay, or I think in my opinion, these are bad because you are limited in how much skill points. As I explained already, you have limited amount of skill points you can spend. If you pick such flaw, you basically reduce it even more. No way you want to do that. But there's another flaws. The flaws which are something like you will take 25% more plasma damage, for example. That is something I'm now considering that was pretty good way to roll with. And just be mindful, and my thoughts are these where you have extra damage from one kind of source would be something you can tolerate and get perks instead. All right, let's move on because we need to squeeze everything in. Tip number 12 is engineering makes money. How engineering makes money is simple. Let me show you. Weapons themselves, these are already endgame weapons, but they still are pretty low. They are pretty crappy. But if you have skill, engineering leveled up, the first tier, well, not the first actually, the second tier, gives you chance to get basic mod. And if you level up to 80, how I did, you have a 10% chance to get rare mods. Rare mods sell really well. They are really, really pricey. So if you want to get some extra money, get at least 40 engineering, and then by breaking down weapons, you have the parts and also random chance of mods, which are quite valuable. Okay, simple as that. Moving on, tip number 13 is compare and inspect. Yes, I don't need any of those chances. So when you compare weapons, for example, I want to compare rifle with, let's say, this one, right? It gives you some idea, something, and if you don't fully understand, there's another option. You can still inspect, and it will also show you compare. So now you have all the stats compare one weapon and another. It's just something, how you can get extra information for you to decide. Or this pistol, for example. I have 2 pistols. Take a pistol and, well, yeah, this weapon is in every case almost better, so no way I will swap it out. All right, moving on. Pick one dialogue option. It's point number 14, and what I mean by that is simple. Under dialogue there are 3 ways: persuade, lie, intimidate. Mostly in whole game, whenever you will have choices presented, you have all 3 options, and whenever you pick one, other 2 are gone. Kind of logical, right? So what it means, when you have up to level 50 as I have, there's no point of leveling 2 of them further. Pick one and go with that. That's my advice. Otherwise, it's lost cause, right? All right. Moving on, there is, in my opinion, medical is pointless. Medical boosts, blah blah blah. I finished the game on the hard difficulty and I used first aid, I think maximum 5 times in whole playthrough, and that's high difficulty. I don't know, and I sold most of the first aid items also sell very good, so I don't know what you need to do to actually need this medical leveled up. All right, tip number 16. One takeaway I can suggest for leveling skill points up is invest up to first tier, because the first tier in every of these actually is pretty good. For example, this dodge, ability to leap forward, to access some areas and something. So from all the trees, as I mentioned, you can't level up all of them, only 4 of them to maximum, but the first ones are actually really useful, whatever other path you're going with. Okay, this is my takeaway. Tip number 17, mods wait a lot. And actually I will go, I will swap out another pointer because it really goes together, how you avoid it. So remember I mentioned the mods you can have, right? They actually weigh half kilogram, and if you have your engineering leveled up, you will end up with quite a lot of them, and in total they weigh a lot. So keep that in mind. They are not weightless, all right? Simple as that. Enough of this point. But in the same time, you want those mods not sell everyone, but whenever you have a new weapon and something, you want to be able to upgrade it as fast as possible. The next point is, especially for that, point 18, is my suggestion is store those items here. And this is the closest to your workbench. Whenever you have new weapon, head here, pick all of them. They weigh a lot. Ooh, yeah, pretty heavy. And now you have all the upgrades, and this pistol, for example, can be upgraded. I have everything right here. Whenever you're done, you can store those spare mods right there. How? Exactly how I mentioned, selling, just mashing button E, done. It takes some time, but that's the only way how you can do it. All right, moving on. Quick tips about companions. Keep in mind that from the beginning game doesn't tell you, companions are invisible. What it means, if let's say this is an enemy and you are hiding, but your companion is standing right here, don't worry. Your companion will never ever trigger sneak from sneak at the enemy, okay? So keep that, not keep that in mind, but you can actually forget. The companions will never ever trigger anything, so they're invisible by default. Small tip, but it moves to the next point. Point number 20, and this is something already where you see how that goes together with the previous tip. It means there are, for example, I can't find, there are hats that give extra. Let me find persuade, no, stealth skill. There's no point of giving such armor to your companion because they are invisible by default. So my advice here is when you give armor to your companions, pay attention to armor. Armor is the main rating that you need to be worried about. Rest of these additional, long dialogue skills. What on earth, your companion will never ever speak. So most of these are really useless. Alright, creature damage, fine. But in general, for armor, go with highest armor rating. Simple as that. While we are speaking about equipping your companions and yourself, my advice is whenever you pick your weapons, this is why I have so much ammunition. I am going for, you see the damage? The damage. It means one shot. One bullet can do 387 damage. Why this is important is because there's a bonus for headshot, for critical, for sneak. And whenever basically sneak is broken after 2 shots, it means you lose this bonus. And if you can't shoot in the head right after and they start moving, you lose all those bonuses and you're just wasting bullets. So most efficient damage per shot will be if you pick up weapons with not highest damage per second, but damage in general, right? Simple as that, because multiplying bonuses and everything. Of course, I have also somewhere here, the pistol. I picked up the pistol, which is quite slow. Well, it's leveled up quite well. Highest damage per shot. And that leads to the next point. When it comes to your companions, that's a different story. Companions don't have all those bonuses and whatnot. They will, in most cases, pray and spray, right? That's the saying. Then for companions, go with highest damage per second, because when they start shooting, they will shoot and you don't know whether the critical, the headshot, whatever it will be, go with damage per second, because that's most damage per second. That's what it stands for, right? And while we are there, no, that's number 23. Don't be afraid to give really heavy ammo using or any ammo using weapons, because they don't use ammunition, they just shoot, and actually their armor and weapons don't break as well. So equip them with good armor and give best guns. And if you don't have any heavy bullets, for example, now I'm showing heavy assault rifle ultra, doesn't matter. That's why I give this to companion, and companion will use with magical ammunition. All right, moving on to the tip number 24. Okay, I will not go out. Simple as that. Whenever you have companions, there are... Fine, I will get out. You have companions abilities on button C and button V. My advice, use them as often as possible, because there are a lot of skills that perks and bonuses that refresh them, and even if they don't cost anything. You see at the bottom of the screen, with Z button, I can order to go them somewhere, I can call them back, but C and V, I would say use as often as you can. My advice, don't wait too long. My brother was already almost finishing game and he never used a single ability. Come on, boy. Why I say that? tip number 25 is something I follow myself. Well, most of them I follow. Is there are 2 companions that actually have area of damage abilities, and both of them are right here. It doesn't matter, but well, it matters. Area of damage you can find about your companions in companion screen. It's really it's most powerful abilities in the game from companions you can have. Every other companion, where you can see all the companions. For example, this dude, you will have him from the beginning. Whenever you select this part, you will see ability and trick shot. Single target, all them, single target. At least this guy disables, knocks down. Whenever you have the same first girl from the beginning, this overload, it is area of damage. She knocks out everyone, stuns the one target, and everyone else is knocked out. So it's immensely overpowered. All right, enough of this. Use them and use area of damage. Then 26, level 26, point 26. Whenever you land, you will end up in this screen, right? When you're not playing Supernova and you want to go and level, it provides you this screen if you open a map. But there's a not workaround, but you can actually right away select region. And let me select, it's final. And you can go right away from the ship. You don't need to step out of the ship, and it saves you 1 additional loading screen, because you can land in planet where you've been before, and if you have any shortcut, fast travel, you can right away from here travel to there. You don't need get out, that's 1 loading screen, and then fast travel is another loading screen. So faster that way. All right. Then my advice, point number 27, is save money for tinkering. It is maybe somewhere misconception, but whenever you tinker, you upgrade your weapons level by 1. It doesn't cost you weapon parts, it's just money, simple as you can see. And why I'm saying save for tinkering, because tinkering gets really expensive if you don't have science skill leveled up. Let me show you. For example, I have saber, first level, let's pick something better. Level 18, right? First tinkering costs you 52. Second, twice as much. And by leveling few times, you already see the cost goes in thousands, more thousands, in way more thousands. Long story short, if you upgrade 1 level, this weapon is still not in my level, 4 levels below. Look at the price, it's huge. And my advice, don't spend on something. I don't see any other. I never found a vendor which sells something better that I can loot and make and upgrade myself. So yeah, use money for tinkering. Tip number 28 is only one thing. Whenever you open up your journal, there's a quest, mostly you use quests, but there's a codex, and codex basically is tutorial. You can read out boring stuff, no one does that, but one is really important. This is symbols. That's why I suggest symbols in Codex. First, everyone is asking and guessing what these types of different damage types does. Here is your answer right in the game. The same goes for buffs, for debuffs. When you see some icons, you actually it would be good if you know what actually is going on, right? Born knockouts, you will see these icons above enemies when you unleash full potential with the knockdowns and everything. So yeah, this is something. Others not so useful. The symbols very useful, right? While we are on buffs and debuffs and damage types, my takeaway from the game, tip number 29 is I will explain how to explain. The game gives you impression this N-Ray is super good because that mod is super rare and super expensive, and it's super shit. So if I need to arrange those damage types, because you can modify every weapon by every type, it goes like from best to worst: shock damage, corrosion, plasma, N-Ray, in that order. Why? N-Ray takes half of your weapon's damage away, and it adds damage over time and AoE, area of damage, a little bit. But in overall, I tested it out, and basically weapon is just crap. It does so little damage that this area of damage is just pure shit, and I don't know why it's bad. Plasma is something that's really common. It's one of the cheapest mods. That's why, and it's good against flash. Corrosion is second best because I don't fully see the difference between plasma, but it's against armor. But the mod itself is rare and it costs more than plasma and shock. But in my opinion, why shock is the best? It's simple. It's extra damage against automechanicals. It's mentioned right away. Then you ask, what about organics? I don't know why it's not mentioned, but when you shoot organics, like humans with shock damage, they got shocked. At least they moved like they got shocked. So it's good against organics and good against automechanics. So it's good. In my opinion, it's good, and it's not a rare mod. You can get every weapon shock. Just test it out, but in my opinion, shock is the best. Then corrosion, then plasma, and N-Ray. That's pure shit. All right. Last thing, number 13. It's already a long video. That doesn't matter because you learned a lot. Why I left in my inventory those? For simple reason. I will find this stupid skill. I think it's under sneak, lockpick. No, let me find it. No, science. There is a skill I can't find. I can't find it right away. There is one skill that gives you additional bonus ability. Why I can't find it now? To find pristine, or actually it was under, yeah, stupid me, if I'm correctly. So the only explanation what I have is there is a pristine something, you see, level 60. Chance that your repaired weapons, items you repair will become pristine, increasing value and durability, right? Bear with me. I don't know how come and from where these come, but you see, this is Knight toughened armor kit, which will increase by 5 physical rating, and this one is exact same shit. But this with little diamond, you see the sell value 150, and this is only 75. And the same thing here, backpack increases by 20 kilograms. This again 20 kilograms. This sells by for 60. This sells half of the price. So these little diamonds are in the only explanation. These are some kind of pristine, better improved, but they don't give any additional bonus, right? It's not like 30 kilograms or something. Long story short, whenever you have a lot of those mods and you want to sell some of them and keep others, sell these with those stupid diamond icon because they sold with higher price and they are doing exactly the same as this mod. So that's that. I don't see any other difference if you know anything else, but pay attention, you will find such diamond icons Yeah, I picked every one out already. I haven't seen any weapon with such, to be precise. Yeah, I have only those mods currently, but yeah, that's that. Pay attention to those diamonds, they sell better, sell those, keep others. Simple as that. 30 tips and tricks, guys. I hope you enjoyed. There's a lot of information from little to nothing to 5 level boost. I think that's pretty awesome. I don't know if anyone else found it out, but here you go. Now you know way more and you can enjoy game way more. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any question, any subjection, objection, write down in the comment section. I'm there. I'm always there to have open discussion about everything. Alright guys, that's enough of me. Long video, but I hope it was worth your while. This was, as always, Morris. We will meet in next videos. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, cheers, bye.